This video is brought to you by the good folks at KEH. Not only is KEH the oldest and biggest at what they do, buying and selling exclusively used camera gear of all sorts since 1979, but they do it well, with integrity and both a 180-day warranty and 21-day return policy, free shipping on transactions over $49. Which is why, because they make it as futz-free a process as possible, they are our go-to whenever we are looking to fund new purchases by selling our own gear or buying that special used piece of kit properly graded and checked when we want to go quirky or old school. Check them out using the special links and 5% discount or bonus code in the video description below. Thank you, KEH. Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and today I want to welcome you to the first in a series I've tentatively titled, What If? In this first episode, for which my ambition is a total runtime of less than 5 minutes, the question is, what if we take a newish Canon EOS R6, an oldish Canon EF 24-70 2.8 Mark II, it was introduced a decade ago, like 400 dog years, and then connect them with an in-betweenish Canon EF to RF drop-in filter mount adapter with variable ND filter. Now, to find out, Claudia and I got in touch with our friends at KEH, and a couple of days later, having ignored multiple weather reports all showing the same forecast, we spent the first part of the morning getting soaked while shooting on the streets of New York. The clouds did break, the sun did eventually shine brightly, and on the way, we got images like this. The good news is that this setup really is a more versatile and cheaper, as in literally $1,200 cheaper, hybrid system than a brand new R6 with a matching new RF 24-70 2.8L and, say, a Peter McKinnon Polar Pro combination of external variable ND filters. Identical weather sealing, IBIS and autofocus in the body, a lens that proved to be an excellent match for it with outstanding sharpness and pop with its own weather sealing that didn't miss a beat, and surprisingly good video autofocus like this. Or this. And this. All with less futzing, because now we had an internal neutral density filter always on tap, allowing me to switch seamlessly between stills and video, rain or sunshine, without missing a beat.
This is with 2.8 1/50th ISO 100, and with the neutral density filter, this is what it would look like without it.
Call me impressed. Downsides? Sure. First, in 2022, given what and how Claudia and I shoot, 20 megapixels is less than ideal for our photography, although for anyone not like us, I think it's more than fine for 40 or even 50 inches on the long side prints, possibly larger, depending on subject matter and viewed at normal distances. Second, the battery lasted for just 192 JPEG shots and 18 seconds of 4K video, which surprised me, although once I pulled the battery out of the body, I realized it was an older 1865 milliamp LPE6N rather than the newer 2130 milliamp hour H. 3. Back here in the Batcave, I learned that the 24-70 2.8 focus breathes like a dragon, which, if you didn't notice it before, let me take this. Watch my head. You see? And okay, the AF is last generation, as in noisy, and under certain circumstances I have yet to nail down, although if you looked at it closely you would have seen it just now, a bit steppy. Fourth, I still don't love the manual of arms, even after customizing the rear top dial to set shutter speed when in manual mode. Although I confess I adapted easily enough to customizing the top plate multifunction button for ISO. And most importantly in my book, fifth, the much discussed 1.6 firmware update doesn't remove the 2959 recording limit, and it doesn't do diddly for the R6's overheating issues because that little bit of 1.6 available in the R5 is not included in the R6 firmware version. But hey, with all of this said, I say potato, you say potato, it's all good. As always, it's a subjective and use case driven thing. The question becomes, for whom is this particular what-if combination best suited? I think the answer is a current Canon DSLR shooter with a collection of top-tier EF glass looking for the most cost-effective and workflow-efficient entry into mirrorless, a path that allows the shooter to A, call it explore video, with B, the advantages of an electronic viewfinder and IBIS, which of course C, help learning what they can do for photography too, D, protect that shooter's investment in that glass, E, retain the shallow depth of field of these full-frame lenses on full-frame cameras, and F, migrate with, as I already mentioned, as little futzing as possible. Or, of course, someone looking to get into Canon full-frame mirrorless systems from another system altogether, cost-effectively, while bypassing the less persuasive R and RP and remaining in the full-frame fold. But with all of this said, the interesting thing, and perhaps the biggest downside, at least for some of us, even thinking outside of the box for this used R6 setup, is that the state of mirrorless cameras and lenses has evolved so quickly since the R6 first launched 4 years ago that a combination like Sony's A7 IV with Tamron's third-party 28-70 2.8 G2 is hundreds of grams lighter, hundreds of dollars less expensive, and has neither the R6's recording limit nor the concern for overheating at room temperature, nor for that matter, the EF 24-70 2.8's focus breathing. See what I mean? Sony's menu system and ergos are less well executed than Canon's. Just saying. Now, if Canon would just lift that recording limit and get an electronic variable ND filter inside an R-series hybrid body, oh baby. A big shout out to KEH for sponsoring this video, a great resource for finding just this kind of gear. Check them out using the special links and 5% discount or bonus code in the video description below. Thank you, KEH. If you like what you've seen here today, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, join the conversation below because this is an incredible audience. If you'd like a copy of our Streets of New York, the book, head over to www.3bmep.com/books. If you'd like to schedule a one-on-one video session with me for a portfolio review, explore or hone your artistic voice, select gear, and more, sign up at www.3bmep.com/booking. Finally, consider supporting our work by using our no-cost-to-you affiliate links down below, picking up some official Three Blind Men and an Elephant swag at 3bmep.threadless.com, sending coffee money via PayPal, or best of all, join us as a patron over at Patreon. However you choose to support us, as always, we thank you for it.